have a problem.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Heliopsychosis podcast. It's your host, Vikka Draziv, guys. Welcome to the show. If you're watching us from YouTube, do comment, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. And if you're watching us from realtruthseekers.com, rts.video, this rts.video is one of our main sponsors for Heliopsychosis and most of our upcoming productions. So make sure you guys check out realtruthseekers.com or rts.video. Yes, what an awesome topic too we have today. We had covered some of this a bit in one of our earlier podcasts, which was called Hyperborea, but we couldn't complete it because there's so much like any other topic when we cover here. So we're going to be trying to expand on some things. So let's jump in with our panelist. Gene, how are you, brother?
Hey, Vikka, what's up, bro? I'm doing good, man. This is a great topic, and I'd be glad to expand on Hyperborea. So we'll talk about Mount Meru, right? So many, we've touched on this a lot during the podcast. Also, it comes up a lot. It's the magnetic north, the Rupus nigra. It's depicted a bunch of different ways, like the tree of life, even possibly was cut down. So that's also called it's the center of the whole realm, where the connection between, spiritual, physical, and metaphysical are all met, and that's the magnetic north, guys. So glad to be here with everybody, and welcome, and have a great show, guys.
Oh yeah, we have definitely covered different in different aspect the North Pole, but yeah, today one also is going to be interesting because before we jump in, we have Evelyn with us too. Evelyn, how are you?
Hi, how are you guys? Always nice to be here back with you. Yeah, doing good. Enjoying the sunshine the last few days, working in the garden. So.
Oh yeah, that's great. Good weather around here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting close to the spring equinox. Spring equinox? No.
Summer equinox is gonna be soon.
Summer equinox. Yeah.
Or summer solstice.
Yeah. So the sun is gonna be the closest as we're gonna get to us here in Holland.
Oh yeah, same here in Spain. So have you guys saw the image I shared in our chat about the turtle supporting a Mount Meru? Have you guys checked that out? Gene,
No, I didn't
Evelyn?
see that.
On the site. Which site?
On the
Not on the site, on in our chat of Vikka podcast chat, Vikka live podcast, Facebook and YouTube chat that we have.
Oh, the messenger group.
Yeah, the messenger group. So there's an image that I shared, and it shows the turtle supporting the Mount Meru. You have these are ancient stones.
Oh yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
You see that? You can see in Cambodia, you can see in Mexico, you can see in China, and you can see, yeah, another one also is in Mexico too. But there are different ones, but it's all showing a turtle with Mount Meru on the top.
Yeah, a big stone. Something.
Yeah, like a stick. That stick looks like the stick of Mount Meru, which is shown in the Vedic cosmology. And the first one in the corner, if you see that one is like they're churning like a stick in the middle. That stick is supposed to represent the Mount Meru. So the thing is, it's so ancient stuff that is in stone, and it's representing the Mount Meru, and it's showing the importance of the North Pole, right?
Yes.
And it's not so difficult to believe it, because the globe is crap. We know that. This sounds, for other people, this would sound very fantastic, like, a tortoise, a turtle with a stick on the top representing the North Pole. Sounds very, like, but it's not. It makes much more sense than the globe Earth model or globe Earth representation. So this in itself, this is thousands of years old.
That's the thing, Vika. All of these different representations and similarities between them are all thousands of years old versus an alleged 500-year-old fantasy.
Exactly, because it's mentioned in so many different cultures and cosmologies.
Yeah.
And some call it the cosmic mountain. And say the peak of the cosmic mountain is not only the highest point on Earth, it's also the Earth's navel. How you were saying, Gene, the point where creation had its beginning, the root.
Right, and that's where we're rooted into mom through the navel. That's excellent.
Exactly, it's feeding us right through that, like a cord, right?
Right, and the psychic cord too. What do they call that, Vika? The silver string?
No, umbilical cord.
No, I mean the invisible one that we have now. Is it that the silver string? Is that right?
The invisible string, you mean?
Yeah, I thought it was a silver string, but it's still called something like that.
You mean the magnetic north, or the celestial bodies? What do you mean? Yeah.
Well, just the connection between them, as opposed to being physically connected by the umbilical cord. Now there's still a connection through the psyche, through the north.
Exactly, both the way. Exactly, both the way.
Right. It's the mental connection now, because it's the physical connection is different from being within your mom as you're being born. So when you come here, the connection is severed between the physical, but it's reconnected and still connected through your mind and your metaphysical, kind of.
Oh
And
yeah, that's why, as we always mention, right, the North Pole, right, to not to lose your north, right, is your
yes,
orientation, right?
that's right. And guys, um, if you think of a compass, like a magnetic compass, right? You have to hold it flat, right? And if you're on a ball, if you're at the equator, you'd have to point like 45 degrees to get to the North Pole. So a
Yeah, you will
compass,
have to tilt it.
right? A compass couldn't work on a globe Earth. It has to work on a magnetic plane. Because if you tilt that compass just a little bit out of level, it can't work anymore. It's too tilted. So
Mm. Yes, the needle will just swing on.
that gets jammed.
Yeah.
It's such a precise, lightweight, delicate little instrument. Very
Yes, you
sensitive.
can make a magnetic needle by getting a sewing needle and rubbing it, and then you put it very carefully so that it floats on water,
Hmm.
and it'll turn and point
To the
to the.
north or south, yeah.
Yeah, we used to
Some
do that.
people do it also with a leaf and the needle on the top.
Yeah.
Right? And the water is so delicate also. It's able to hold that. It's strong yet delicate because it can hold the leaf, the needle before you break the tension. And that's what gives it the ability to float like that. It's pretty cool. And that'll work on a little spill of water, right? And every spill of water is perfectly level because that's how it'll sit there. If it wasn't level, it would spill away and spill off, right? So every spill in the world is the same height and the same at the same plane. Right? It's the same. Might not be the same height. The puddle is the same height off the table. The table could be a different height, is what I'm saying. But the little spill will always be that same height because of the surface tension won't let it get smaller or taller. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And this is the thing, like the central part that some people say it could be a mountain, it could be a tree, right? It could be just the magnetic energy or a magnetic vortex, right?
Right.
So why? What is the reason? What is the difference between a geocentric model and a heliocentric model? Is that everything is rotating around the earth, right? And that's what we see, right, in geocentric model, that everything is rotating around us. What is the reason, right? One of the reason is also the magnetic north. Apart from the compass and everything, the magnetic that it shows us to the central point is to that everything rotates around us because of the magnetic field of the earth, or the magnetic north is much more stronger than everything that is rotating above us. Everything has a magnetic field or energy, right? And the potency differs. And the Earth's magnetic field is much more stronger. That's why everything else rotates around us. They want us to believe that the magnetic field, or the whatever, the gravity of the sun is what is making everything move around us. No, but it's the magnetic that which makes things attract. If you have a higher field or energy than the others, right?
Well, that's what they say. The sun is flying through the galaxy, and gravity is pulling everything along with it, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
There's a great couple of videos with a with an accurate depiction of what they're saying. It seems, and the spiraling is just so crazy, ridiculous. It's laughable.
Oh
And
yeah.
you know, you talk
What?
about the sun's gravity being like hundreds of times stronger than the Earth. How did they fly Parker space probe through the corona part of the sun? Because you can't land on the sun. So how'd they fly through it, take pictures, and they're going to do it again? Where'd the gravity go? And when you look at the size of the sun to the Earth, then you think they sent a satellite the size of a bus, maybe, and it becomes like less than a speck of dust. So it's really ridiculous with all of the story, and the things that are linking to it in the aftermath of it that we experience in today with these James Webb pictures and this nonsense that they do.
Oh yeah. They sell whatever, and the images what they are selling. They are making money even on the social media. You have hundreds of page making money of their indoctrination. They would put any CGI stuff and call it image by so and so person, so and so astronomer, so and so telescope, and people, you know what I mean? The people are like, wow, and surprised, right? And wow, this is amazing. The science is, it's all selling crap at every level, from the movies to the social media. You know, everybody's like,
Well, you know, this science, you know, this Bill Nye and this James Webb NASA stuff has become this ongoing science saga in real life, kind of.
yeah, in reality, that all who are playing are making money on it,
I know.
right?
Oh, wow. You're right. Think of the commercials with these pages that they got. They are generating money. So crazy.
Yeah, so it's very clear. It's so easy, right, for the to
What?
manipulate the masses and like take advantage of that. You know, that's what they're doing. Like, you know,
Oh, yeah. But you know, think of that scenario. They where was this massive gravity that seemed to have no effect on this space probe? Never, let alone the 1.8 million degrees of heat they supposedly flew through. Let's just put that aside.
exactly. So this is the thing: the magnetic energy of the central north. Then you have the electromagnetic energy of the sun, the moon, which is interacting also with the energy of the earth, and that's why it's creating that tides. Everything is all interconnected, right? Because of the movement of the tides and everything, the hurricanes, the earthquakes, everything is just exchange of magnetic energy, pulling and pushing. That's what it is. And the central north plays a very important role because that's the point. That's the place where we could call it the central shaft or the central axis or the axis mundi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
What
like
we
that.
do know is that um, the Earth has a magnetic field. I mean, even in the globe, uh, um, in the globe, it's given us a magnetic field going from north to south, so all around the globe. So, but if we take that and put it on the flat Earth, then it's working properly also, because you have the focal point in the center, and then the magnetic field's just going out and probably under or through. I don't know. We don't know that far, but it sort of binds everything. It sort of connects everything together. And the last few weeks, I've been looking into what they call electroculture, and that is
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's really interesting because you can tap into this magnetic field, because magnetic field, you have to think about it as it's everywhere, it's all around, it's not just a thin layer, you know, up in the atmosphere. It's all around in the just in the air around us. Like the
Oh
fog.
yeah, oh yeah. That's why it's making the difference in the tides too, because it's reaching the
Mm,
waters also. Yeah.
yes. Yeah. Yeah. It goes through everything, so it has a working on everything, and I'm reading up on things like electroculture to tap into this magnetic field, magnetic force in the air, in the ether. And well, I made a few poles,
And
wires, and
oh
things
yeah,
to
I'm
put them.
too. I have few made. I'm trying it this time, first time. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to mention, like what you said about the on a globe Earth or on a flat Earth, the magnetic, how it works. A best example would be like if you can take a powdered metal and just throw it and put a magnet in the middle, automatically it forms a shape.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yes, I've seen the film. Yes.
So there's what it's saying exactly how it works on a flat with
Mm,
the magnet in the center.
yeah. Yeah. I was looking through Enoch, see what I could find about that, and it's really interesting. A little verse here. Um, uh, where was it? Chapter 34. Oh yeah, here. In chapter 34, because he's traveling all around, just the angels showing him everything and all that. And I came across this, and it's in chapter 34, Enoch's Journey to the North. And when you look at the flat model from above, you see landmass in the middle and going outwards to the side and downwards. You can hardly see any landmass on the Pacific Ocean. But you have four directions, north, south, east, and west, and um, so it's not talking of magnetic north. It's just talking about directional north, and but I think I think they took him to the center, because it says here, and from thence I went towards the north to the ends of the earth. And there I saw a great and glorious device at the ends of the whole earth. A device? It's like saying there's this a device, there's something that's doing something in the center. So that's really intriguing for me there.
Man, that's great.
Yeah, and many people think that the whole Mount Meru thing, that was the Garden of Eden, which is discussable because Garden of Eden was supposed to be um, well, around between Egypt and what was it, and Shechem, and anyway, in that area in Jerusalem, around in Iran, and so. And but that description from heaven, it doesn't take away from the center being, the center of this magnetic force that's happening. And the thing is, it's a bit um, in another verse, um, they he says that he goes to the oh, 1 second. Okay, out of the waves I created rock, hard and big, blah blah blah. And the midst of the earth I called abyss. But what does it mean? What does he mean by the midst? Well, let's just say the bottomless. So it's actually suggesting that, an abyss, as in, there's a hole, let's just say bottomless. So in the midst of the earth. Could that be under the earth?
Myths could be sounds in the middle, right? Or myths around.
Yeah. In the midst of the earth.
So yeah, it could be also a device. Who know? It could be a technology, right? Instead of a
Maybe it's a
tree or.
hollow. Yeah, maybe it's a hollow device. And then in the midst of that, it's it's an abyss. I mean, if nobody has gone to see it, we we can never know if it's
There,
it is
yeah, there
that
are some cultures which
yeah.
speaks about this speaks about that it is connected, right? From all the realms are connected through this central shaft, right? Be it the underworld or be it the
Hmm.
upper world, and this
Right.
is how the souls move between the realms through this central shaft.
Right, through the different levels, right? The different cosmologies have some different levels that are all connected in the center.
Exactly, it's an elevator. Supposed to be kind of an elevator, right? Can take you down the hell and can take you.
Yes,
Could be a portal. Could
I
be a
just watched.
portal, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I remember now. I think it's in the book of the Legends of the Jews that when Adam was thrown out of paradise, out of Eden, he they threw him out, as in they threw him down to the earth. they so it also suggested that paradise was not on the earth itself, but he had to go through some level. There's a lot of things in the Legend of the Jews. There's a whole description of what the levels are and who lives there, and so it's really interesting.
Exactly. This cosmic mountain
Hmm.
can be identified with a real mountain or it can be a myth, but it is always placed at the center.
Right. Vikka, isn't the one in Africa is in the center of a mountain range. Is that right? Mount Meru?
Yeah, the Tanzanian Mount Meru. Yeah, it's called the mountain is literally called Mount Meru because of their cosmology, because of their tradition.
All right. Imagine that.
And as I mentioned also in the Egyptian, the Mer,
That's right.
which supposed to what does really the pyramid represents in reality? What does it really represents? It represents the Mount Meru. And as I said, also Merry Christmas, from where it comes, Merry Christmas. Christmas, the tree.
And Meru you can also look at it as you are me, right? And how
Exactly.
we're all here together, guys, and we're all connected into that same magnetic north. We're all looking for that, whatever you call it.
In Mesopotamia, it's called Ziggurat.
Right.
Cosmic mountain to sacred mountain, holy mountain. The cosmic mountain that stands at the center of the world. This is the place where creation began, a point of contact between humans and the divine worlds. The Sumerian word Hursag found in the passages describing temples. So what does really mean Harsak? Harsak means mountain house. It can also be best translated as temple.
Yeah, I like the Cambodian version of it with what appears to be people turning the shaft like they're the stars rotating.
Oh yeah, but that's Cambodian, but also it comes really from the Vedic cosmology.
Okay. That's very
Because yeah, it's also Hinduism.
right.
It's a part of a Hinduism story where it's Vishnu, and they are trying to churn the ocean, and they are using that central north, that stick
Right.
in the center, and they're using a serpent to churn it, like when you use a rope, right?
Wow.
And you turn a stick so they're using that snake as a rope, and they're churning it, and they have the turtle below. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to take out this immortality drink from the oceans by churning that central stick.
Wow. And it was that for enlightenment?
For sure, immortality, a drink of immortality.
Wow. Fountain of youth.
Yeah, the cats are going crazy.
That's being
It's my neighbors. There's so many animals around, and sometime in the night they go crazy. But it's not they are just next to me. They're 50. Some is 50, 20, 100 meters, but you hear them like you're right here. They're next to me.
Wow.
They all are going crazy sometime, and it was also the full moon, so
Check the
around.
UFOs, Vikka. There could be UFOs out there right now. No, serious.
So this is a thing, right? A temple or a mountain, like it's very similar translation, right? An image of a cosmic mountain, like figures prominently in religious practices throughout everywhere, like in every culture. The inaccessible mountain, stunning in its beauty, yet elusive to all approach, is the most prevalent and compelling of all imaginary places, recurring in cultures, myth, and in dreams. It's going crazy. This
Having fun. You know, the Mt Meru in Africa is very difficult to climb, and it's not been done by a lot of people.
oh yeah, this is making so much sound. That's why I'm uh, muting my mic. So the concept of cosmic mountain was prevalent in different forms throughout the ancient East Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece. In Asia, one finds the elaborate religious symbolism of Mount Meru. the cosmic mountain, whose complex symbolic meanings are put forth the axis, providing an opening through the three planes, making possible communications with the sacred. The world axis may be symbolically represented as a world pillar, a ladder, a cosmic mountain, a cosmic tree, and many other. The Mount Meru, the cosmic mountain, carried the hierarchy of the beings. Under the name of one of its peaks as cosmic axis, Mandara, the mountain functioned in the churning of the ocean, as I mentioned earlier. Meru is the cosmic mountain rooted in the earth, with its top in the heavens. It is both the axial mountain and the ideal divine city, and it provides the pattern for the cities of the kings on earth.
Hey, Vikka, I just want to throw in something about flights going, circumnavigating the world north-south. Has that ever been done? I think a lot of people are like, it's never been done, it's never been done. But don't they claim to have done that once or twice? Like, some official government group or whatever. No, right?
Yeah, they claimed to have done it. But yeah.
Yeah, but
They
like
claim to have
once.
done. If
Okay,
you see
like,
the flight plan, it goes
like,
from South America to South Africa. But yeah, going a very long way, longer than it should, and it's just it's just going from one point to the other. It's
right.
not going around anything.
They didn't circumnavigate anything.
No.
But they,
And I think
been
they
done
went
east west.
from. I think they went from South America. They sort of went further south to Antarctica and then turned around and went back up again.
Oh,
They
gee.
didn't actually travel along the coast or anything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And Google Earth has the North Pole pretty much as an ocean now. There's no landmass there anymore.
No, there's no landmass. I remember when
What's
when
up
you
with
could
that?
see it in maps, but I mean it's sort of disappeared.
Little by little, right?
Yeah. And Greenland is just a white mass.
That's it, right?
It's a white mass. You can't see. Maybe I think in the southern coast you can see some landmass, but further inland, nothing. You can see
Wow.
anything.
Very reliable.
Cool. So when the Hindu belief reached Cambodia, they merged with the religious aspect of Mount Mahendra, becoming identified as the earthly incarnations of the deities of this cosmic mountain. Similarly, in early Taoism, Kunlun is a cosmic mountain paradise connecting heaven and earth. China has 5 sacred mountains: Mount Tai of the east, Mount Hua of the west, Mount Heng of the north, Mount Song of the center, and Mount Heng of the south. It's also Mount Kunlun, a cosmic mountain. The ancient Iranian mythological motif of the cosmic mountain at the edge of the world was incorporated early into medieval Islamic cosmology, known as Mount Kaf. The Tatars of the Altai imagine Bayulgan in the middle of the sky, seated on a golden mountain. The Abakan Tatars call it the Iron Mountain. In Iranian Sufism, the mountain of the vision is the cosmic mountain, seen as a homologous to the human microcosm. It is the mountain of the dawns, from whose summit Chinvat bridge springs forth to span the passage to the beyond. Images used in early Persian mysticism are of emerald cities, the emerald rock at the top of the Kaf, the cosmic mountain, also called Alburz. East Kalmuk people in Siberia believe the world is centered on a great cosmic mountain they call Sumer. Sumer, Meru, right? Meru's Sumer. Its truncated summit is represented by the square in the middle. The picture they draw of their world. So in different culture believed like there's a world axis located at the center of the earth, which is marked by a cosmic mountain. Throughout Indian Asia, the mythical cosmic Mount Meru at the center of the universe was thought to be the axis mundi. In Sumeria, primeval sea begot this cosmic mountain consisting of heaven and earth united. It is said that the gods grasped this cosmic mountain, the axis of the world, and used it to steer the primordial ocean, thus giving birth to the universe. The cosmic mountain not only was the origin of the earth, but also came to function as the peg which secured the earth a firm support. The center of the world is represented by the image of the cosmic mountain. Crazy, yeah? It's crazy. It's like pegged, it's like a pin, it's like it's not gonna move from there, right? Yeah, the central part is really important for that this to right be in place or have that center or have that.
But you know, they're following cosmology with it though, right? Because they're talking about where the North Pole points out, and that doesn't move. It might make a tiny circle, but the North Pole is always right there, and everything circles around it. It's like a machine, and it can't happen in a Big Bang Theory, guys. You know that, right? that perfection out of an explosion or an expansion. Now they're going to start changing their lingo.
Exactly.
I'm trying to say the expansion is different from moving away from each other.
Oh yeah, we are more stable and fixed than, right?
Oh, I am. I know I am. And I know everybody else is too, but hey, I had a funny thing happen. I was leaving a store and I saw a guy with a NASA shirt on, and I said, "Hey, so you think the moon landings were real?" And like the emoji, the smiley face when he's holding his chin looking up, that curiosity emoji. That's what the guy did. He holds his chin, he looks up for the second or two, he goes, "Yeah." Like, it was just funny. You got to think about it for a second. And that 2 seconds of time really convinced him, like, it was real.
Oh yeah, there are many like these who are wearing the NASA stuff. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
The worst part is they think they're very woke, right? They think they're very.
Yeah. No, they're very hip in today's society to wear NASA stuff, I think. But, I thought I felt smart knowing all of their crazy numbers and their distances and reactions and, so. But, how many things do you need to be shown before something kind of clicks? And, for some people it's more than others. Different. But maybe that's a better way. Just different.
Oh yeah, sorry guys, it's so much. All these animals are freaking going crazy.
That's all right. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, because one of my neighbor, he had more than freaking 300 chickens of all different kinds, and peacocks and turkey and all of. Sometimes they all go crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the peacocks, they freaking rob my fruits.
Oh. Oh man.
Especially the grapes.
Funny. Little bandits.
So I just hope that it's not too loud. So I'm going to continue. The cosmic mountain, yeah, the world tree, or the central pillar which sustains the planes of the cosmos. For shamans, the connection between the seen, physical, and the unseen, spiritual world. The axis mundi is often visualized as a great cosmic tree connecting all the cosmos. The cosmic tree, which functions like the cosmic mountain, is thought to make it possible for the 2 or 3 levels of the universe to communicate. Sometimes it holds up the sky, and it plays an important role in shamanism. The metamorphical picture is that of a huge tree atop a cosmic mountain whose height reaches heavens, whose branches encompasses the earth, and whose roots sink down to the lowest part of the earth. Both the sacred mountain and the cosmic tree are emblems of stability. Like the top of the world tree, the summit of the cosmic mountain is always said to be the highest place on earth. Sitting atop the cosmic mountain, one climbs the cosmic tree to reach the heavenly abode. The mountain and the tree forms the axis that connects the three worlds, the underworld, the earth, and the heavens. The cosmic point, the focal point of the cosmic motif in biblical imagery is often as not the cosmic mountain, undoubtedly because of the Sinai event. The cosmic tree rarely, if appears, apart from its mountainous base. Within the magic ring of the myth, the cosmic mountain is preeminent both for its universality and its spiritual resonance as the meeting place of the heaven, earth, and hell, and the axle of the revolving firmament. Quite interesting, right?
That's a good one. The revolving firmament.
That is one the top left photo of the of these of the group of people, beings turning a thing, turning the central point.
Exactly, and also the vortex that's in the center also, right? And there's a thing like because of that vortex in the center of the earth, the way it moves and all the celestial bodies around it, it's moving, right? In a way, it's trying to tell here in images of what is really happening and how all the celestial movement is happening through that central north, right? It could be an invisible string, could be the magnetic energy power, right?
Something. They all knew it. All described it in many different ways.
Exactly, but they're literally telling the truth, right?
Definitely. Yeah, something about Cambodia, it wasn't even rediscovered until like 1840, and when they discovered it, they were like, "Oh my God, this is better than anything the Romans or the Greeks left. This is absolutely spectacular. This finding," and it was buried in the jungles, found 200 years ago. Not even.
Oh yeah, but this is supposed to be the that image is in many different places, right? Like that. So it's one of a event that had happened in that thousands of years, according to them, right? The creation story. It's there in their creation story.
Right.
So we are speaking about thousands of years ago, like
Right. How many different cultures too through those thousands of years? It's amazing. And a lot of people will give him a lot of credit for a lot of things people in the past did and how great they were for this and that. But they got the cosmology part wrong. All of them. It's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, or done purposely, right?
Right. Right. Exactly. Well, I think so. That's why it's like it's just so ironic that they all got that one part wrong. It was good here, there. But no, not that part. It's so funny.
Oh yeah. So unlike man-made sanctuaries, Sinai was created by Yahweh. It was a temple established not by human but by divine hand. It was a sanctuary which served as a model for all replicas, especially the tabernacle and the temple in Jerusalem. For the Bible, the cosmic mountain imagery is also a backdrop against which to see the special relationship between Israel and her own mountains expressed in national mountain imagery. Many of the salient features of the cosmic mountain, known from the foreign sources, appear in the religion of biblical Israel in connection with the Mount Zion. The Hebrew scriptures contain clear allusions to the ancient Near Eastern notion of the mountains as the dwelling places of the deities or the place where the gods assemble. Zaphon is the name of the cosmic mountain where El and Baal exercise their kingship. Zapon, in Hebrew it's Sapon, designates the north and is the cosmic mountain. The motif of rivers flowing from the cosmic mountain as source of life has been incorporated into Hebrew literature. Very interesting, right? Because also in many different cultures they speak about that mountain and the four rivers coming from there, right? Flowing in the four directions.
Right. And they have the black rock in the center, right?
Oh yeah, it could be the same representation.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how back in 1985 or something like that, these people in an investment group called BlackRock knew they were going to be so successful that everybody was going to be so attracted to them, like a big magnet. Same with Amazon. Isn't it funny? He just knew, happened to know that he was going to be the biggest shipping company ever. So he named it after the biggest river ever. Right? It just happened to know these things. I think it's all predetermined, very
Yeah,
well
it's all
thought out.
orchestrated.
Sorry?
It's all orchestrated.
Yeah, exactly. Irony is just, you can cut it with a knife.
Oh yeah, the BlackRock is trying to be the center, right? It's trying to control the whole earth in a way, like everything goes around it, right? So
They want to be the one. Yeah.
So the cosmic mountain, the very high mountain mentioned Ezekiel 40.2, to which Ezekiel is transported at the beginning of his vision in chapter 40-48, is at once Mount Zion and the cosmic mountain, the center of the creation. To Christians, Golgotha is the center of the world, for it is the peak of the cosmic mountain and the spot where Adam was created and buried. In the beginning of his apocalyptic vision, John is in the spiritual degree, but after he has experienced or realized in his upward march the realities of the Lamb's book of life, he takes his place in the celestial mountain. The Syro-Palestinian, the temple was the architectural embodiment of the cosmic mountain. The primary element of the sanctuary was the Bama, the high place. The local counterpart of the cosmic mountain, on which the deity was conceived as dwelling, and where he sat enthroned as cosmic king. Jerusalem was fully established as the new Sinai, a cosmic mountain and source of order. The order of Eden, restored in the historical time by the covenant at Sinai, was the present and the future blessing of Jerusalem. The Temple of Solomon would seem ultimately to be a replica of the holy cosmic mountain of the religious literature. Replicating the heavenly mountain of Yahweh at Mount Horeb-Sinai. The Jerusalem of Solomon has been characterized as the new Sinai, a cosmic mountain and the source of order. For the Cherokees, the world is their center, is the cosmic mountain, stated to be the axis. Their council house was consequently modeled after the cosmic mountain. Most ancient cultures have their standing stones, megalith, pyramids, and obelisks. The cosmic mountain is such an important image that it has been the basis of many sacred buildings. The direct antecedent of the Buddhist stupas was a Kairin, and in the Sumerian myth, a Kairin is a summary representation of the cosmic mountain. The temple towers functioned as a representation of the cosmic mountain. A stupa is also suggested, the stylized representation of the mountain. The stupas are the ones you see in the east the Buddhist cultures, they have their temples. They have this like a stick which looks like a cone, almost representing the Mount Meru.
Right. Also reminds me of what are they called? 1 second. The Piot hats, with the rectangular tiered roofs, all going to the central point.
Yeah, something similar, but in the stupas, they are more like antennas. They look like antennas.
Wow. Okay.
But they are like construction. They are made of stones.
Are they circular?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they're different, but I think they might be sort of similar ideas, though. The Piot hats are just the you see them in China, and Buddhism.
Exactly, that one. Exactly.
Right. They're really beautiful, and they have some. I think it was Buddhists that say the Triastrinsa is at the top where heaven is, and the Triastrinsa can be translated back to a numerical factor of 33, and a lot of organizations like that number 33 to be on the top, right? And that's what they call heaven, though. So it's just kind of strange connection there.
Oh yeah, maybe they know something, right?
Right. And wasn't the what wasn't it 33 miles wide? The black rock in the center, wasn't it? Was something like that? 50 kilometers across, like 33 miles across, allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
All allegedly.
Yeah, we have no way of checking.
Oh yeah,
That's
because depending on the culture or cosmology, they have different ways of explaining. Like for example, in the Greeks, it's supposed to be Mount Olympus. So. And in the Vedic cosmology, it's supposed to be the house of the Indra on the top, and it's supposed to be a really high mountain, like really high. So if it's really high, that is the base, could be like maybe 30, 40, 50 miles. Who knows, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So these temple mountains were not uncommon in various parts of the world. The ziggurat at Ur of the Chaldees and Borobudur in Java. Borobudur is a mountain in Java, Indonesia. The central Javanese complexes give the impression of being self-centered and complete in themselves as replica of the mountain, of the cosmic mountain. Meru is imitated and represented architecturally in Hindu temples with spikraba or mountain peaks rising towards the heavens. It is repeated as the center post of Buddhist stupas. Though there is a common symbolism with the Brahmanic Mount Meru, the stupa is more than simply an architectural imitation of this cosmic mountain. The cult of Balinese water temples embellishes the cosmic mountain by symbolically by emphasizing the role of volcanic crater lakes as the symbolic origin of water, with its life-giving and purification power. Yeah, because if you literally see in the Vedic cosmology also, and the Buddhist cosmology, it literally shows like a stick in the middle. Like, it's like, it shows like a shaft. It shows like a golden mountain with like a stick with the base, which is much more thinner than the top, which is much more wide. It's a crazy representation, but that how it shows. Then you have the Shiva Linga. Shiva Linga is supposed to be a form of a stone where in the Vedic or the Sanskrit people they pray also in a way to this stone. It's also representing actually the cosmic mountain. The three-dimensional form of the Sri Chakra is also the Sri Shiva Linga, the iron pillar, as the wall tree or pillar, surmounted by Vishnu, is rooted in the cosmic mountain. So this in Cambodia, the linga appears as a rule associated with the symbolism of the cosmic mountain. At one time, there was a relation between the temple as representing the cosmic mountain and the essence of the royal power which was venerated. In the Mesopotamia, the temple could represent the cosmic mountain. The Mesopotamian seals represents a god emerging from the cosmic mountain, supports the interpretation of the ziggurat as the cosmic mountain, symbolic of the earth itself. So the ziggurat was a cosmic mountain, a symbolic image of the cosmos. So religions attempt to build their sanctuaries on a prominent height, since no such natural heights were available in the flat flood plains of Mesopotamia, modern Iraq. Ancient priests and kings determined to build ziggurats, square or rectangular artificial stepped temples or platforms. You see, it's all about connecting to the gods, the higher want to go, right? That's why, or you have those temples or Buddhist monastery or a church. They try to make it always on the highest point, right? The reason is because they want to be closer to the creator, right? And especially being on top of a mountain, right? It's really connects. It's like a connection of the earth and the skies, and the heavens are meeting. It has that special energy, right? The mountains.
Yeah, which really makes more sense on a flat Earth too, not a ball. Want to be higher on a mountain.
Exactly. No, if I live in the North Pole, I am at the top, right? And everything is else and the down on the ball. I am the god, right? I am on the top, right? No, it's not like that.
No, no, it
Oh,
just makes more sense on a flat plane. All of these analogies and stories and the reasons why they're doing that. Because you're supposed to. What about the equator? People at the equator, they're reaching out to heaven over that way, right?
oh yeah. I don't know, guys. The mountains have a special energy, right? I've been to mountains. I've
Uh,
been to the not on top of the Everest, but I have been to the mountain Himalayas. I have been to Himalayas, man. I've been like 3,000 meters, maybe max. At 3,000 meter, and some of the mountains can go to 8,000 meters, right? Guys, you won't believe how small we are when you are in those mountains. You feel like you're an ant, right? Because
wow.
you you feel so like nothing, right? It's like they're so majestic, these mountains. Yeah, imagine they're so high.
Yeah, picture seeing so far too. Like, wow.
Oh yeah, and you see some parts it's like literally touching the skies, and you go to some parts and you literally disconnected from the world. You literally feel it.
Wow. Well, you got a different elevation. Things change. You're way less up there.
Oh yeah, and pure, pristine nature.
Wow. Hey, right away, the guys. There's a mountain in Nepal. Speaking of the Himalayas, that it's one of the top 10 most dangerous mountains to climb. And out of 158 people that tried, 58 of them died. So it just was so in contrast to when I pulled into it was like a Home Depot Lowe's yesterday, and there was two monsters, like 25-foot poles with cameras on them and these big flashing lights, like it was a road sign saying that they were there for our safety. And I'm like, they don't care about your safety. It's just so funny. The irony was like, wow.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant when I said like sometimes nature is cruel, right? It's like you imagine you're being in these mountains and you freaking sleep or something. You're gone, man.
Yeah, very unforgiving.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. No, it's no good to go hiking alone.
Yeah, or if you fall in the river, the speed and the current of these rivers is gonna take you in 2 minutes.
Wow.
You're gone. You're gonna be pieces with all those rocks, and it's crazy stuff.
And another reason why this space story is fake with the remote control helicopters on Mars is because there's bodies up on Mount Everest that helicopters can't reach because the air pressure is only 1/3 up there. It's about 5 or 6 pounds pressure up there, and helicopters fail. So,
Oh yeah, just to give an idea how big are these mountains. When a plane is flying at its cruising altitude and you see the earth below, right? That's the height of the mountain. Can you imagine?
that's crazy. Like, wave to the people over there.
You imagine at what are the heights of this mountain? Literally, you are seeing from this normal flatland and you are cruising at plus 35,000 feet, and that's the actual height of the mountains.
That's pretty cool. How long did it take you to do that? To get up to 3,000 kilometers?
Oh yeah, no, it's like I was going as few thousand. Like I'm going 1,000. I'm there for a couple of days. Then I go a couple of days slowly. You cannot just like go. These are like it's called the skirt of Himalayas, right? Means like the bottom parts of the Himalayas, and their bottom parts are 3,000-4,000 meters.
That's crazy.
So even at 3,000-4,000 meters, when you see those other ones higher, you freak out. You think, what the hell is that? Right? I'm already so high, and still these mountains are going like, it's crazy. Yeah. Special energy. That's why Himalayas have.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
So this is the thing. In the Mesopotamia, they were making these temples and like platforms, kind of platforms. And these temples were placed on raised platform to give them the prominence over other buildings in the city and to allow more people to watch the services performed at the temples. Symbolically, however, the ziggurat represents the cosmic mountain on which the gods dwell. The priests ascend up the stairways to the temple at the top of ziggurat represents ascent to heaven.
See?
So the great ziggurat at Khorsabad had 7 different stages. Each was painted a different color and represented the 5 known luminaries. And the moon and the sun. The names of the Babylonian temples were sacred towers themselves, testify to the assimilation to the cosmic mountain. The ziggurat worship was called the house of the 7 directions of the heaven and earth. Important temples were built on a terraced base, recalling all the more the image of the cosmic mountain, formed by diverse levels of existence and crowned with the residence of divinities and the supreme gods. These cities, temples, or places regarded as the center of the world are all only replicas, repeating the same archaic image, the cosmic mountain. Yeah, the one you have in the Vatican City, that obelisk, that's representing the Mount Meru. That's it. That is what is bringing that energy of healing or that spiritual connection when people go there, right? The initial stone that is placed, the foundation or cornerstone, mythically represented the peak of the cosmic mountain, breaking the surface of the primordial waters before rising to fill the heaven and earth. The hollow mulberry is a cosmic mountain, and it is also identified with the yellow emperor in the Chinese. And Aztec temples were the axis mundi of the cosmic tree or cosmic mountain, which provided abundant heart or animistic power for agriculture. Exactly, you could literally put a stone uh, in the middle, which looks like an obelisk, and it can literally create that energy there. Again, we are speaking about the cosmic energy, the ether, the magnetic energy, which is all supposed to be in a way harmonic, as you were mentioning before, Evelyn, about the electroculture and all these things. It's in a way saying the same thing because it creates that. That's why most of the towns and villages, they have that central, in a way, right? Their church or the tower or the temple, and everything around that grows, and right, that's how places form, right? Around that central energy, be it anything.
Yeah, a lot of the narrative does say that what they did was they get to a town, the first thing they did was build a church.
Exactly, and now maybe they have political house or other stuff, but the concept is the same.
And churches are different from cathedrals too, right? It's not. I'm kind of getting the two mixed in my head right now.
Also the same way, because in reality, the cathedrals were supposed to be, in reality, they were supposed to be healing centers.
Right.
And now they are made it into cathedrals.
Right.
And everything was around that,
And again, they can say that, oh, we built this first, but really it was already there.
Oh yeah, long before that.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder about that a lot lately. Like just how old are these buildings we're looking at? How tall are they really? How far down do they really go? All that stuff.
Exactly. In reality, it's creating that same energy as the central north or the cosmic mountain. In reality, locally, right?
Right.
Though the people don't need to go to the North Pole to heal, or right, or to reach to God, in a way.
No, well that energy is all over, just like you were saying. But that's where it comes from.
Exactly, but it's concentrating at these towers, at these centers, or these places, right? Or these temples.
Right. And if it's the land it's on, probably that accompanied with the building itself, the position of the
Exactly.
building, the height of the building, the footprint of the all the aspects, all the ornate, decorative architecture involved with it.
Oh yeah.
All of that stuff is very, very important. Positioning, height, and
Exactly, and those glass windows actually says which frequency that healing center was using, because as we see that cymatica or cymatica creates that pattern, right? Depending on the frequency you play, it makes different patterns, right?
Sure. Right.
So those designs were supposed to represent which frequency they were using.
And those patterns can be seen in so many, many, many different areas.
Wouldn't the patterns on the windows without the glass panes, wouldn't they act as a sort of speaker,
Yeah, right, like an amplifier.
like an amplifier? Yes.
Right. Probably. You got to imagine that. And you have those pipe organs with the sound those things are making going through that pattern. And, I wonder if, so you got the pattern of the stone, and then you can play different harmonics through it to enhance certain aspects of it. I bet you. That's pretty cool. Because I don't know how many different notes you can find on 88 on a keyboard, right? But I don't know if there's more after that or there's just variations of the same 88. 88, double infinity, right?
Oh yeah, or it could be there also way to the people in those time could understand what it actually means, every design, right? Could be possible. And they say, I want to work on that frequency. I go to this healing center, or I go to that healing center, or this, or
I would totally think something like that. Like, you go to a foot doctor for your foot. Same idea.
Oh yeah, guys, we're gonna take a break and we're gonna be right back. All right, don't go anywhere. And we continue. Yep.
Okay.
You take the red pill. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. You stay in Wonderland.
Our level Earth plane is the Achilles heel of the New World Order. This subject, supposedly the most ridiculous of all conspiracy theories, mocked and ridiculed for centuries as being an ignorant, unscientific worldview, is actually one of the most easily demonstrable and empirically evidenced facts of reality. When humanity finally wakes up to the truth of our level plane Earth, it will usher in a veritable new age of enlightenment, a renaissance of common sense, and an opportunity to finally and forever expose and expunge these deceivers among us. Truth. It is singular and eternal. Truth has always been here, among us, and it will always be here. It is our perception that must be aligned with it.
Testable, repeatable scientific facts of our level, motionless plane Earth that have been suppressed and ridiculed for centuries in favor of various unobservable, untestable, unscientific theories purporting we live on a tilting, wobbling, spinning, ball-shaped Earth.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
All right, welcome back, guys. We have Jean and Evelyn with us. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to the people in the chat. It's Dr. Frankenstein, Queen M, and there is Cover to Cover with Jeremy Pierce. Is Evelyn there too? And then there is 711 Lucas, Jonas Fig, FE Nation, and there is I and Brian Odell. Oh yeah, North Pole. And we see how it's the different cosmologies are showing its importance, because there is, that's why they reflected in different cosmologies so much. All right, so yeah, you could be spiritual, a lukewarm spiritual, or you could be religious individual, or you may not attend the crowded religious festival, but hold a belief that certain geographical places hold on an energy or power that you can feel once there. It's popular now to hear of such places as vortices or vortex of energy. Numerous places in different places in the world suddenly are declared sacred space by your neighbor, friends, co-worker. And there's a talk of such places, and many of us has traveled to places where you feel there's something special to them. Once you get there, every big city has some place, not too far, but also not that close, where you should be able to experience at least peace and relaxation, and accompanied by a feel-good vibe among beautiful, serene surroundings. This be a charming town, a desert, a mountain, a hidden valley, or whatever place you feel it's a special place. The main thing is they travel there but do not live there. Most people fail to understand that well-being, peace, and happiness do not reside in Shangri-La, a mythical geographical place, but it's totally subjective state of being given at any moment by our feelings and a state of mind within our hearts. So it's easy to be fooled by a sense of peace, serenity, and awe at particular place that seems to trigger the experience, and therefore always searching or returning to the places we believe trigger the experience. But also there's nothing wrong with feeling special in certain places close to our hearts, because our past is linked to them, or special people, a parent or grandmother, or we just grow there in happiness as children, but then moved away, and we are nostalgic and we yearn for those days gone. They are special places, at least to us. It's fun to travel and vacation to such places, but to believe you have found paradise, paradise is a state of being, not a geographical place.
And I'm glad you said that, Vikka, because there are special places, right? It's nice to go back and visit places, it's different scenery, different kind of trees and animals. But all these things you talk about are mostly nature. Sounds like a lot of nature that you're talking about. And I'm personally, I feel lucky because I feel this way like in my own backyard. And anytime I see nature, I was fortunate enough last year, a year or two ago, I found a moth at a gas station that landed on me. And no, you know what? It didn't land on me. I picked it up because it was in a traffic area. So, and he crawled around on me for like a half an hour. And when I put him on the bush, he flew back on me. And so I feel lucky. I find these beautiful places all around this world, all over this world. Or I said around, but all over the place. There's a lot of magical places and things going on, and I look for them too. I try to hunt them down. I'm open for it. I love nature. It's so cool. You can never finish learning about it and from it. You can never get enough out of it for me.
Oh yeah. I love nature too. It connects, like you are literally one, right? You
Yeah,
make any place you go, you make it special, right?
pretty much, man. God is everywhere, so to speak. That feeling, and those places are really kind of all over the place, I think. But, then you got like Sedona or whatever. I've never been there, but I would sure like to go there and check it out. But I think the whole world is special, man. I love this place. Uh, every living being has its own special code and reason and purpose, and how all the trees seem to be connected to each other, whether it's different pines and different oaks might be able to communicate. I find that just so fascinating. If you disturb one end of an ant line, the other end of the ant line knows like in that much time. crazy stuff.
Oh yeah, and especially with the trees and nature. I like, even from the time I have like beginning of my conscious, I even remember my first school years, after kindergartens. I remember myself like all the kids are playing during the recess and I'm like in the trees.
Right? Yeah.
I remember literally, like, what the hell? It's crazy.
No, I was like that too. I didn't really have a problem going the other way from all my friends. I'm like, all right, see you later. No problem. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's why I live off grid, brother. So I don't stand concrete jungle.
Yeah, I loved it for too long, but now I don't miss it. It's like heartache to go back sometimes. But I do have fun going around Manhattan and in the boroughs, looking at those buildings. Now I look at them different. I was always loved the architecture out there, but now I'm like, wow, look at that. It just took a whole new meaning for me, which eases the tension of going back into the city and in that environment. Because I'm not into it. I am not into it. You can catch me at a concert for nothing anymore. I've been to hundreds of shows. Now I'm just like, nope.
Oh yeah. This is the thing. When you step out of the machine these people have created of consumerism and everything, and this rat race, right? So once you step out a little bit, out really in the nature, and you connect, that's the real break you get from this robotic, like
right,
how the people mindset have become as so robotic, right? So
yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's hard to touch those areas, where they're fan of something.
Exactly.
They're waiting for their season, or their concerts, band to tour, or whatever it is.
The latest technology.
I'm sorry?
Everybody waiting for the latest technology.
Right.
The latest iPhone.
Mm-hmm. You can't, like I was saying, don't talk about certain bands to people. You'll lose them real quick, or movie stars or whatever. Or Matrix stuff.
Oh yeah. So there was a guy named Rene Daumal. He wrote a book called Mount Analog. And he wrote an unfinished novel. The novel is both bizarre and allegorical, detailing the discovery and ascent of a mountain, which can only be perceived by realizing that one had traveled further in the traversing, it than one would by traveling in a straight line, and can only be viewed from a particular point when the sun rays hit the earth at a certain angle. Its summit must be inaccessible, but its base is accessible to human beings as nature made them. It must be unique and it must exist geographically. The door to the invisible must be visible. Daumal died before the novel was completed, providing an uncanny one-way quality to the journey. Father Sogol, the Logos spelled backward, is the leader of the expedition. The expedition to climb the mysterious mountain that unites heaven and earth. The novel also marks the first use of the word Peradam. In literature, an object that is revealed only to those who seeks it. One finds here very rarely in low-lying areas, more frequently as one goes further up. A clear and extremely hard stone that is spherical and varies in size, a kind of crystal, but curved crystal, something extraordinary and unknown on the rest of the earth. Among the French of Port des Singes, it is called Peradam. And the root meaning of this word, it may mean harder than diamond.
What was that word, Vikka? How do you spell it?
Peradam. Peradam.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be harder than diamond. That's what it means. You think that it means, right? Like, could be one of the meaning. And it is or father of the diamond. And they say that the diamond is in fact the product of the degeneration of the Peradam by a sort of quartering of the circle, or more precisely, cubing of the sphere. Or again, the word may mean Adam's stone. Having some secret and profound connection to the original nature of man. The clarity of this stone is so great, and its index of refraction so close to that of air. Despite the crystal's great density, the unaccustomed eye hardly perceives it. But to anyone who seeks it with sincere desire and true need, it reveals itself by its sudden sparkle, like that of a dewdrop. The Peradam is the only substance, the only material object whose value is recognized by the guides of Mount Analog. Therefore, it is the standard of all currency, as gold is for us. So Daumel compares art and alpinism in his novel. Alpinism is the art of climbing mountains by confronting the greatest dangers with the greatest prudence. Art is used here to mean the accomplishment of knowledge in action. You cannot always stay on the summits. You have to come down. So what's the point? Only this: what is above knows what is below. What is below does not know what is above.
That's a good point. It's like a bird's eye view.
Exactly.
Right? You get a better view from up higher. Cool.
While climbing, take note of all the difficulties along your path. During the descent, you will no longer see them, but you will know that they are there if you have observed carefully. There's an art to finding your way in the lower regions by the memory of what you have seen when you were higher up. When you can no longer see, you can at least still know. Our sacred space. It's fashionable nowadays to build your own sacred space. This be a retreat in your garden, a small altar with the symbols and object you prefer to include there. Located in a corner of your favorite place to meditate or pray, like many ancient cultures did and do on to the present. An unbeliever and thought they knew better. But one could be just comfortable with having a mat in a corner for meditation and prayer, nothing too elaborated. So yeah, people have different ways of, but all is correct, right?
Yeah, I think so, right, Vikka? As long as you're connecting inside, then what's wrong?
Exactly, as you mentioned, heaven and earth are everywhere. It's everywhere. The creation energy, but first we need to find it within us. Then we'll be able to behold it everywhere.
Well, I can tell you for me, bro, I remember it as a kid just being fascinated by things, flowers and bugs and stuff. And I saw my friends like not as much, I guess, it was different. And then as I got older, like, 7 or 8, I guess, I knew I was like, I'm not letting this feeling go. I lived like in Long Island. It was sort of like the country more. And I moved to Brooklyn, a lot less country. and I was just like, I don't care. I'm not letting this go. This place is great, even though it's buildings. There's still beauty, in secret little places here. And yeah, I loved it in the trees. I had a tree across the street from my house that was like a perfect recliner. I fell asleep in it so many times. Not dozens, but there's a few times I woke up like, whoa. So, man, nature's just, the only part of this world, really. And we're part of it. We are nature. So, it's fun to be around. You never know what you're going to find underneath the rock or whatever.
Oh yeah, even working with the soil, it's have antidepressant property. That doesn't mean we are depressant or something. It just have that property, right? Just
Oh,
just
yeah.
working with the soil, and the
Oh, sure it does. Being
and
in,
the soil itself is a battery in itself. It has those currents or
oh, it's magic, bro. Yeah, for me, it is. I wake up in the morning and I go right out to the garden. I water things and picking weeds, and if I'm not getting dirty right away, I don't feel right. You know.
oh yeah.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, you know what? I've been experimenting with the electro-horticulture also, and I'm not sure if I see anything yet. Maybe possibilities, but you know, I've always been a fan of copper and brass, and I like the natural metals. Well, brass is natural, but
Oh yeah. That's why also the copper, brass, and some people wear some not jewelry but maybe bracelet or locket or
mm-hmm.
maybe it helps also to.
Right. I would imagine it's some sort of an antenna and the right properties if you wear the right combination in the right place around your neck, around your ankle or wrists, what have you, belt,
Oh yeah.
headdress. They're like the Egyptians used to wear makeup for reasons. They weren't. It wasn't just makeup like people wear makeup today. Fashion. That's not what it was about.
Oh yeah, and the hair and everything, right? Also had their.
All right. And even up into the something like a black cat was worshipped back then. They were less demonized. It's all backwards though, right? No. Much of the story they can twist, they do.
Exactly. So the axis of the universe, the follows the center of the world, sacred mountain, the sacred tree of life, a sacred realm of being. And as I say, the sacred hoop of my people was one of the many hoops that made one circle, wide as daylight and as starlight. And in the center grew one mighty flowering tree to shelter all the children of one mother and one father. So, according to the Greek cosmology, Zeus wanted to locate the exact center of the world. To do this, he released two eagles from opposite end of the earth. The eagles met at Delphi. Zeus marked the spot with a large egg-shaped stone called the omphalos. meaning navel. The temple at Delphi once belonged to Gaia. But when the Olympians came into the power, Apollo took the temple. The temple was guarded by a great serpent, Pytho. Apollo killed Pytho and excised Gaia. In honor of his heroic deed, the priestess of Delphi was called Pythia. The temple was located at what was believed to be the center of the world. And at the center of the temple was the amphalos, the stone Kronos swallowed in place of Zeus. So Pythia, she would breathe in the intoxicating fumes from a fissure in the earth. She would, in this drug-induced state, answer your question. The real power laid with the priest who would interpret Pythia's word. Yeah, it's a whole story of the Greek gods all together. But as I mentioned before, the Olympus, Mount Olympus, again, representation of Mount Meru. Then you have Axis Mundi. The Axis Mundi, also cosmic axis, world pillar, columna cerurai, center of the world. The world center, or the connection between the heaven and the earth. As the celestial pole and a geographic pole, it expresses a point of connection between the sky and the earth, where the four compass direction meets. Four compass direction meets. What does it say? The four direction, right? It's literally telling you that it's flat. At this point, travel and correspondence is made between higher and lower realms. Communication from lower realms may ascend to higher ones, and blessings from higher realms may descend to the lower ones and be disseminated to all. The spot functions as the amphalos, navel, the world's point of beginning. The image is mostly viewed as feminine, as it relates to the center of the earth, perhaps like a umbilical providing nourishment. It may have the form of a natural object, a mountain, a tree, a wine stalk, a column of smoke, or fire, or a product of human manufacture, a staff, a tower, a ladder, a staircase, a maypole, a cross, a steeple, a rope, a totem pole, a pillar, a spire. Its proximity to heaven may carry implications that are chiefly religious. Pagoda, temple mount, minarets, church, or secular obelisk, lighthouse, rocket, skyscraper. You see the amount of stuff it's representing. The image appears in religious and secular context. The axis mundi symbol may be found in cultures utilizing shamanic practices or animist belief system in major world religions and in technological advanced urban centers. Every microcosm, every inhabited region has a center, that is to say, a place that is sacred above all. Sacred mountains. Kailash is a mountain located in Nagari prefecture in Tibet. This mountain literally looks like a pyramid. It's in the Himalayas. There are many different legends connected to it. The mountain is sacred to the 4 Asian religions: Buddhism, Hinduism, Bon. Bon is a local shamanic religion of Tibet before Buddhism, and then Jainism. It was here that God Shiva descended to earth. Mansarovar, called a sacred lake, just beyond. The 4 rivers of Ganges, Brahmaputra, Sutlej, and Indus have their source around the mountain. Some believe that Kailash is the Mount Meru, from where the Aryans came. Sulte Dalen near Kailash, low silver palace with Bonpo, religion's holy kingdom. This was destroyed by Buddhists in Lhasa, as before spared this country in their conquest. Every year, thousands make a pilgrimage to Kailash, following a tradition going back thousands of years. Pilgrims from several regions believe that going around the mountain on foot is a holy ritual that will bring good fortune. The peregrination is made in a clockwise direction by the Hindus and Buddhists. Followers of the Jain and Bonpo religion go in a counterclockwise direction. The path around Mount Kailash is 52 kilometers, almost 32 miles long. So yeah, they all have their own interpretation of this mountain as Mount Meru, be it in Buddhist, be it in the Vedics, be it in the Jainism. They all so sacred tree of life. The concept of a tree of life have been used in science, religion, philosophy, and mythology and cosmology. A tree of life is a common motif in various world theologies, mythologies, philosophies. A mythical concept alluding to the interconnection of all life on this earth, and a metaphor for common descent in the evolutionary sense. The term tree of life may also be used as a synonym of sacred tree, the tree of knowledge, connecting to the heaven and the underworld, and the tree of life, connecting all forms of creation, are both forms of the world tree or the cosmic tree. And according to some, that are portrayed in various religions and philosophy as the same tree. The tree of life is an important symbol in nearly every culture. In Jewish and Christian mythologies, a tree sits at the center of both the heavenly and the earthly Edens. The Norse cosmic world Ash Yggdrasil has its root in the underworld, while its branches support the adobe of the god. The Egyptians' holy Skyramor stood on the threshold of life and death, connecting the world. To the Mayas, it is the Yakshe whose branches support the heavens. The ceiba tree was the sacred tree of the Mayans, and it had many representations and significance. The ancient Maya of Central America believed that a great ceiba tree stood at the center of the earth, connecting the terrestrial world to the spirit world above. The long, thick vines hanging down from its spreading limbs provided a connection to the heavens for the souls that ascended them. The archetypical symbolism of trees. Trees have long held a literal and symbolic fascination for humanity. Their source as a deep archetype of absorption begins with the earliest epic in the Western world, the story of Gilgamesh and his quest for the plant of life, a symbolic tree that is snatched away by a serpent, thus illustrating that the use of the tree as a universal religious symbol is incredibly ancient. Such utilization can be dated to at least the 3rd millennium BCE as a symbol of a rich cultural mythos. The major archetype being that of the center, the beginning where sacred powers first originated. The tree is the navel of the world, the cosmic axis, the axis mundi, standing at the universe center, where it passes through the middle and unites the 3 great cosmic domains, the underworld, the earth, and the sky. We have to see why it's so important, the North Pole, in every culture. It has those properties like of attraction, of with its branches reaching into the sky and roots deep in the earth. The tree of life dwells in three worlds, a link between heaven, the earth, and the underworld, uniting above and below. It is both a feminine symbol bearing sustenance and a masculine, visibly phallic symbol, another union. The tree has other characters which easily lend themselves to symbolism. Many trees take on the appearance of death in the winter, losing their leaves, only to sprout new growth with the return of the spring. This aspect makes the tree a symbol of resurrection, and a stylized tree is the symbol of many resurrected gods. Most of these gods are believed to have been crucified on the trees as well, as we spoke about the Odin in our another podcast. Where does that crucifixion thing come from? Because it's there in the different cultures. Odin was sacrificed on the tree. A tree also bears seeds or fruit, which contains the essence of the tree. And this continuous regeneration is a potent symbol of immortality. Trees, seen as the giver of gifts and spiritual wisdom, are quite common. It was while meditating under a Bodhi tree that Buddha received his enlightenment. The Norse god Odin received the gift of language while suspended upside down in the world ash, that's a tree. In the Celtic creation stories, trees were the ancestors of mankind, elder beings of the wisdom who provided the alphabet, the calendar, and entrance to the realm of the gods. Trees were also associated in the shamanic belief of the Druids and other Celtic people with the supernatural world. Trees were a connection to the world of the spirits and the ancestors, living entities, and doorways to other worlds.
Hey, Vika, I've been wondering for a while now whether or not animals, possibly plant life, is more spiritually advanced than humans rather than less. Could you imagine being a plant like a tree and being alive for 400 years and you can only grow vertically kind of and outward? You can't move. In other words, you can't go north or you know what I mean? You're planted there.
Oh yeah, as we spoke about in the last podcast about the conscious that is just the consciousness, right? That is and these trees that are so huge and so many years have that consciousness, and all that information is there right? The same thing was we spoke about the mountains, right? It could just be the consciousness, like,
Right, of the
of these
of the
beings.
the culmination of all of them together. It's pretty fascinating. But they are alive, so I don't doubt that stuff. I don't doubt it at all. I kind of would tend to think it's really true, actually.
Oh yeah.
So that's that right there. Even with just plants, that could be a worldwide connection.
Oh yeah, and we see the importance also of the tree, the north, and the trees in general, and the representation, why it's the giver of life, in a way also, right? Apart from the sun and the moon, like,
Sure, cleans the air. It gives us, shelter, food, tools,
exactly, heals us, right?
heals us. Yeah, farmers. It's everything. All those properties. Yes. I
Yeah,
kind of.
it sounds. But imagine you just walk in your where you have your trees, and you just take something and you just eat it directly. It's magical, right?
Oh yeah, it is. It really is.
You imagine you just take one round on your plot, and you're just like had a good snack with different fruits and berries and flowers. It's magical, right?
I think it is. Yeah, absolutely. And you get to see countless insects crawling and flying, birds, whatever have you around by you.
Exactly. And imagine planting a tree, and it's gonna be even after you, the tree, right?
That's the thing. You plant trees for the next generations, really.
Exactly. I planted a lot of trees, and not only in my place, in different places.
Very cool. I like to give my stuff away. I got a lot of stuff in my yard. Flowers of all kinds of trees, little saplings. I miss giving them
Oh
away.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Oh
love
yeah. Especially friends and neighbors, right? Just yesterday, I gave to one of my neighbor one of the berries for him to plant, right?
Nice. Yeah, I found two new types of flowers in my yard that I've never seen before. So I kind of isolated them, and I'm gonna bring them out when they're ready to a more visible place. They're kind of buried back there.
Oh yeah. Some places, they like, some places they don't like. There are sometimes they're picky.
Hmm. Yeah, I'd like to find out what they are first, actually. But they've got full sun, so I got a nice spot for full sun for them. But yeah, transplanting is not always successful. You try to do it at the right time, like if you replant a tree or a flowering shrub or something, or just flowers, perennials. It's better to do it late fall, I think. You could do it real early spring too, but I like late fall. It gives them the dormant time to get used to what just happened and to settle in rather than get pushed.
Yeah, I think depends on the trees, but morely it's nice to, when the tree don't have leaves, is the best time to transplant.
Yeah.
So the most sacred tree of all was the oak tree, which represented the axis mundi, the center of the world. The Celtics name for oak was Daur, or Duir, is the origin of the word door,
Oh, wow. Oak door. Cool.
That's why they have all those like legends of those fairies and dwarfs going inside the tree in a door, so it's all but it's quite interesting. Door, for the word door, and we know the importance of like the door needs to be opened, right?
Sure.
So the root of the oak was literally the doorway to the other worlds, the realms of the fairy. The tree of life, Hashayim, in the book of Genesis, is a tree planted by Abrahamic God in the midst of the Garden of Eden, whose fruits give everlasting life, like immortality. Together with the tree of life, God planted the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That's Genesis 2:9. According to some, there are in fact two names for the same tree. In the biblical story, the serpent, who is regarded as Satan in Christianity but not in Judaism, tempted Eve into eating a fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Eve and Adam both ate the fruit despite God's warning to Adam that in the day that you eat from it, you shall surely die. As a consequence of their transgression, the land, the serpent, Adam and Eve were each cursed by the God to prevent them access to the tree of life. God cast Adam and Eve out of the Garden of Eden. And the Lord said, the man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever. Genesis 3:22. In the book of Revelation, it's mentioned 3 times. This phrase, which is also used for the Genesis tree of life in the ancient Greek translation of the Old Testament, literally means wood of life. It is translated in nearly every English Bible version as tree of life. The tree of life is represented in several examples of sacred geometry and is central in particular to the Kabbalah. The mystic study of the Torah, where it's represented as a diagram of 10 points. The tree of life, Et Hayashim in Hebrew, is a mystical symbol used in Kabbalah of esoteric Judaism to describe the path to God, usually referred to as Hashem, or the name, and the manner in which he created the world. The Kabbalists developed this concept into a full model of reality using the tree to depict a map of creation. Some believe the Kabbalistic tree of life corresponds to the tree of life mentioned in the Genesis. This mystical concept was later adopted by some esoterically inclined Christians as well as some Hermeticists. Among the Christians, Kabbalists, the Sephiroths were called dignities and were referred to by their Latin names instead of their Hebrew names. Christian Kabbalah also places emphasis on Christ as a sustainer and preserver of the universe, and the Malkut of Jewish Kabbalists is absent, as it's considered of a different order of being. The tree of life can potentially be applied to any area of life, especially the inner world of man, from the subconscious all the way to the Kabbalistic called the higher self. The tree of life does not only speak of the origins of the physical universe out of the unimaginable, but also of man's place in the universe. Since man is invested with mind, consciousness in the Kabbalah is thought of as the fruit of the physical world, through whom the original infinite energy can experience and express itself as an finite entity. After the energy of creation has condensed into matter, it is thought to reverse its course back up the tree until it is once again united with its true nature. Thus, the Kabbalist seeks to know himself and the universe as an expression of the God, and to make journey to return by stages, charted by Sephiroth, until he has come to the realization he sought. The tree of life bears many similarities to the Christian Gnostic conception of the pleroma, emanations from the ineffable and self-originating divine parent that offer the best possible mean of describing God. Each emanation in the pleroma is born from the more complex emanation before it. Most notably between these two allegories is the final Sephira on the tree, Malkut, and the last emanation of Pleroma, Sophia, who fall resulted into the physical world. Okay, the last time we're gonna be almost wrapping up. In the Bhagavad Gita, there is a mention of Asvata, a tree of life and being, whose destruction alone leads to immortality. Is said in the Bhagavad Gita to grow with its root above and its branches below. The root represents the supreme being, or the first cause, the logos. But one has to go beyond these roots to unite oneself with Krishna. The Vedas are its leaves. He only goes beyond the roots, shall never return, shall reincarnate no more during the age of Brahma. In every old culture, the tree of life is given an ancient ancestors understood the interconnectedness of life, the microcosm being a reflection of the macrocosm, the outer a reflection of the inner, the below from the above, the spirit residing in our inner hearts. Wherever we are, there is the center of the world, the sacred womb of the mother, the axis of the universe, the sacred mountain, a sacred realm of being. In the Holy Quran, it says there will be gardens of perpetual residence. Beneath them, rivers will flow. They will be adorned therein with bracelets of gold and will wear green garments of fine silk. Reclining therein or adorned couches, excellent is the reward and good is the resting place. The barzak, it's an Arabic word to signal an isthmus or separation between the two things, yet share the attributes of the two things in question. In Western thoughts, that is basically dialectic. We separate the physical from the spiritual with no intermediary realm. However, the soul is the bazarak between. This is also known as the world of imagination or images. This is the intermediary realm who shares both the spiritual and the corporeal. But because it's between both, the bars is more real than the corporal, since is 1 degree closer to the spiritual realm, the world of light. This middle or intermediary realm we have access in dreaming, where the spiritual communicates to our consciousness through an imagery of symbols and archetypes. In Egypt, when a person has died, he has taken to the underworld where his deeds in life were taken to the court of Osiris for the final judgment. Since this place also was called the Island of Fire, it is quite obvious that the Egyptian had knowledge about the burning interior of the earth, though they had no volcanoes in their own country. Before coming, there's a dead person had to bypass a labyrinth of gates and doors and answer questions correctly to pass through. The lion god Aker led him through the last gate he was facing. The 14 members of the jury, they're also allowed to speak his behavior. Yeah, it just goes on forever. Mount Meru in the Egyptians, the Akkadian idea of the two opposite polar mountains, an Arctic and an Antarctic, the one celestial and the other infernal, is found among the ancient inhabitants of India. The celestial mountain they call Sumeru. The infernal one they call Kumeru. So yeah, I could go in much more detail about all this, but I think we get the idea that the importance there of the tree, of the central magnetic mountain tower energy layer, impenetrable layer, whatever it could be, or it could be that only if you are on a certain frequency you could see this tree or touch or energy or feel or go through or climb, right?
Yeah, Vikka, or even understand it in the first place, I think.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. So everyone is saying in their own words, and the way of how it connects the fruit, the resurrection, the connection, the stability, the energy, the tree of life. Yeah, amazing. Awesome, guys. Yeah, we almost 3 hours, so we could literally go in detail about each of these different cosmologies, speaking about these mountains or sacred tree or whatever, obelisk, or right. It's, and in many ways it says that it's flat, and that central, the importance, that magnetic center is the importance, and all the instruments and everything, it's telling us. And there's so much other things it says indirectly about the shape of this earth. No, if there was if the earth was a ball, if the north there was a tree, there should be a tree at the south too, right? An upside down tree, right? Why is only one, right? So, oh yeah. So last thoughts, guys.
Yeah, I'll say goodnight, everybody. It was a great show, Vikka. My mind is blown. We covered almost all of the cosmologies, touched in on this one. So many of them, and so they're onto something, I think. Whether it's a rock or a tree that was cut down and is now a rock, like petrification we talked about last week. We're not really sure, but I mean, it seems like we're surrounded. As we surround the North Pole, we're surrounded by the ice wall. So we're immersed in this mystery, and definitely having a lot of fun figuring it out here with you guys. And this was a great addition to the shows, bro. There's so many descriptive words about it throughout so many different cosmologies. It's pretty amazing. Thousands of years of talking about this, a couple different ways, versus that alleged 500 years of heliocentric craziness. But great story, man. Thanks for the show, brother. Appreciate you putting it together. And have a good night, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Oh yeah, brother. It's as you say, they are onto something. They are telling us something. No, like look there. No, why? In any aspect you want to look through, religious or spiritual or whatever, right? And it's explaining that, right? So it's amazing. It represents the tree of life, and we spoke about the sacred geometry of the tree of life, the fruit of life, the seed of life, and that's how it's all interconnected, the flower of life. The regeneration, the resurrection, right?
Right, and that, all those are the signature of the Creator.
Oh yeah, the perfection of the intelligent design, right?
Yeah.
Nothing is chaos, and nothing is we are lost in the space, or we are like dust in this endless galaxy and all this stuff. It's right here. It's right there. It reflects in things around us.
That heliocentric talk just leads to a very dim, nihilistic kind of way of thinking about probably everything, ultimately, of scarcity and, like a godlessness and empty vacuum. What could be worse? What could be further from the truth, too? That, everything you look at right now in your house, your apartment, your car, wherever you are, everything you look at had a designer and a maker and a creator, right? Except for life. That was a random accident. That's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, those who have eye to see, they would see this creation and how perfect and intelligently designed it is, right? So awesome, brother. Yeah, definitely this also is a topic that we could go expanding more. Yeah, definitely. Thanks for being here, brother. Awesome.
Thank you too, bro.
Evelyn.
Yes. Our Earth, it's full of secrets and wonders that we're all trying to find out. And these live streams they help a lot, because we get to hear the different viewpoints and beliefs and all that. I've left a link on the comments page, on the comments side. And that's about, I think it's a link to Zen Garcia's Ask Me Anything. And he loves talking about Mount Meru and that sort of things from the point of view of the biblical point of view. But he makes very good points and very good reports about that. So have fun and good night, everybody.
Oh yeah, Evelyn. Thanks for being here. Yeah, it's almost 3 a.m. here in Europe. So, yep. There you have it, people. The North Pole, the tree of life, the magnetic north, the Rupus nigra, or the tree that we are forbidden to visit, right? So this is the thing, the common characteristics shared by all these paradises of different cultures and religions. It is an imaginal perfection of the archetypes compared to our earthly realm, where if beauty is abundant, decay, old age, deterioration, erosion, and many other perceived maladies also bound, like dust. In the imaginal realm, there is no dust, no ugliness or decay, only change from wonder to wonder. And what we make of it, right? We make it a paradise or a hell by ourselves. Thank you everybody for being here. Make sure you guys check us out on the next week episode of Heliopsychosis podcast. This is your host Vikka Draziv signing out, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks Gene. Thanks Evelyn. Thanks everybody in the chat. Make sure you guys check us out next week. Bye everyone.
Bye-bye.
Astronauts to the moon.
Houston, we have a problem.